My name's Charlie Winsky. This is the preview of some 2019 NFHS rules for football. A couple things of note. This is not the 2019 rules clinic for football. Watching this preview will not give you any credit towards the rules clinic. You still must attend the rules clinic at the South Carolina Coaches Association event in July or one of the online clinics that we will offer this year for fall sports. Again, this will not count towards your credit for the rules clinic this fall. Should you fail to attend a rules clinic this fall for football, your school will be fined $100 for your failure to attend. The purpose of this preview is to go ahead and go through some upcoming changes to the rules just so you and your coaches have an idea of what to expect. Didn't really feel like doing a rules clinic right before practice starts really kind of was fair in some of these rules this year with some of the changes to the play clock especially. But also I've been hearing a couple of questions come through our office and just wanted to get statewide clarification on the numbering rule that has been changed, and also to make you aware of the horse collar rule as you start going through the summer and preparing for your fall season. Okay, our first preview is going to be to the numbering. Rule 214.1 and 725A. 214.1, the change in that rule is going to read now, as you see the word 7 struck and the word 5 underlined, that means 7 will be out of that rule and the word 5 will be in. So the definition of a scrimmage formation will read, a scrimmage formation requires a minimum of 5 A players legally on their line at the snap. In the past, you've had to have 7 legally on the line for it to be a legal formation. Now you only have to have 5 on the line of scrimmage. Now, if you notice, there are no changes to the number in the backfield. So your requirements for the line of scrimmage have changed. You only have to have 5 on the line for it to be a legal snap. But you still cannot have more than 4 in the backfield. So none of your formations in terms of your eligible backs or eligible receivers off the line or behind the line have changed. You cannot have more than 4 backs. And you have to have at least 5 on the line. Now the whole catch to this is those 5 on the line must still meet the numbering requirement. So you've got to have 5 on the line, and those 5 that you have to have on the line must be numbered 50 through 79. Failure to have 5 players on the line of scrimmage numbered 50 through 79 will result in an illegal formation. So you could have 5 players number 50, 51, 52, 53, and 54. That's 5 players, 50 through 79, on your line of scrimmage. You have nobody else on the line of scrimmage. You have a quarterback number 12 and a running back number 34. You only have 7 players on the field. By rule, you would actually have a legal formation now. Should you be able to score out of that formation, more power to you. Because as the rule reads now, you're not going to be penalized for having less than 7 on the line. You don't have to have 4 in the backfield. It's your choice if you don't want to. You're allowed 4 in the backfield and you're allowed no more than 7 on the line. So the numbering changes really won't affect any formations. You're still the same number in terms of who's eligible going down the field numbering wise. Must be on the line, can't be covered up to be eligible to catch a pass. None of that's changed. What's changed is the minimum requirement for who must be on the line, and that's a minimum of 5 A players. Horse collar, Rule 943K. As you know, a horse collar is grabbing the inside back or side collar and using that area to pull the runner backwards or sideways to the ground, and that includes even if possession was lost. What's being changed to this rule, as you see right there with the arrows pointing to the R area and anchor down, the definition of horse collar, it's also going to include the area directly below the inside back collar. In the past, the way the rule was written, you had to watch the fingers actually disappear into the collar of the back. You could actually grab the nameplate area and essentially achieve the same thing by pulling the runner down backwards to the ground or sideways to the ground. And it looked like a horse collar. Everybody knew it was a horse collar, but the rule said it wasn't a horse collar by grabbing that nameplate area where you see the arrows pointed right there and using that only to pull back. The result was the same, the look was the same, but by rule it was not a horse collar. Therefore, when you didn't have it called, you became irate because everything pointed to it should be a horse collar. Rules Committee realized that and made a change. So now the rule will read, you grab the inside back or side collar or the nameplate area, and that area is defined directly below the inside back collar. And you see the arrows pointed down right there. What it doesn't mean, if you look at the picture here, the word anchor down. If I grab the A in anchor on the nameplate and pull you to the ground backwards or to the ground sideways from that, you got nothing. Even though that's the nameplate, that's not the area we're talking about here. We're talking about that area directly below the inside back collar, using that. So now the official doesn't have to determine whether or not fingers are actually inside the collar or not. And remember, this will be enforced as a live ball foul. Now, one thing of note, if I grab this player, number 35, by the R right there in the nameplate, and I start to pull backwards, and actually I'm pulling him to the ground, and another one of my teammates were to make contact with him at the same time, you're going to have nothing. Even though I've grabbed him there and pulled, you've got nothing if another teammate is what actually knocks him to the ground. If I just grab and pull and let go, you've got nothing. It has to be completed by pulling backwards to the ground or sideways to the ground. All right, the 40-second clock. Got a lot of questions that have come in. What will be different? Probably the easiest way to start this is let's talk about what will be different. To the average fan in the stands, nothing will be different unless they look at the play clock itself and notice the 40 seconds is up instead of 25. There won't be anything really different to the average fan. Really shouldn't be anything different to you as a coach. The biggest difference is going to be the flow of the game. The flow of the game should be more consistent. We're probably not going to lose time on the game. Games probably are still going to run about the same length and average as they are right now. But the game's going to flow a little smoother once we get comfortable doing this on the football field. Another change is you won't have that waiting period for the referee to signal ready for play. For example, your running back takes a tall sweep over the right edge, and he gets tackled 3 yards downfield for a gain, and we'll make it now 2nd and 7. In the past, once the ball was spotted by a wing official or the umpire, we would get the ball to that umpire, who would then place the ball on the ground, and he would back out of there. And then from that point, from the end of the run until that point, we would actually wait 10 to 15 seconds. The referee would, and there would sometimes be that wait period, and all of a sudden you'd hear his whistle blow, and he'd wind his arm to signify start the play clock. Now you're not going to have that waiting period. Now once that running back is tackled, and we see that hand go up to spot where the ball is, we're going to start the 40-second play clock. And then we're going to get it spotted. The umpire's going to get it spotted, get out of there. So there's no period of wait listening for that referee's signal. The end of an offensive play, inbounds or out of bounds, or an incomplete pass, that 40-second play clock is going to start immediately. And that's just what I was covering. The 25-second play clock will still be in play. You still have opportunities to have that. It will run as usual after kicks, a change of possession, an interception or fumble possession change there, an administrative stoppage to start a new period, or to start an overtime series. And in those situations, you'll still have the same telltale whistle with the winder and chop, depending on the necessity of the clock. Alright, here's an example of the signals you'll see for the play clock operator or for the back judge they're looking for to determine when to start the play clock. We'll start on the left here with the incomplete pass. Signal signifies that we've got an incomplete pass. Pass was not caught. At that point, once the back judge or the play clock operator sees a game official make this signal, they're going to count 1,000 and immediately start the 40-second play clock. Doesn't matter if the ball's been thrown 2 yards downfield for an incompletion or 50 yards downfield for an incompletion. The play clock will still start at 40 seconds. Another signal you may see is that raised hand to mark the spot of an inbounds ball carrier. Official comes in, usually with a foot, to mark the spot we are. The ball's down, and they'll raise that hand to signify that we've got the ball spotted. At that point, we'll wait 1,000, and the play clock operator or the back judge will start the play clock. In the third picture, you see the winding arm. This official is actually going to wind that arm in a circular motion. You're going to see this when a ball carrier is tackled near the sideline. This is going to signify to the game clock operator that we got him down, but we're going to keep that clock running. He's down inbounds. You're going to see that winding arm to signify keep the clock running, the game clock running. We're going to count 1,000, and we're going to roll with the play clock. And then the last one, you're going to see the timeout signal, and that's going to signify that the ball carrier has gone out of bounds on the spot. And we're going to start the play clock there again with a 1,000 40-second play clock. Now, on the situation of an incomplete pass or a ball carrier going out of bounds, your game clock will actually be stopped, but your play clock will actually be started. So you will have situations where your game clock is stopped, incomplete pass, going out of bounds, first down, game clock stops, but play clock starts. So that 40 seconds will be ticking just like any other 25-second play clock that was running without a game clock. Now, one thing of note, when you have a first down that's inbounds, the game clock will be stopped to move the chains. Play clock will be running, and once we're all set, the referee will make that winding motion you see there in picture 3, but he won't blow his whistle. He's just going to signify that winding arm so that the game clock operator knows it's okay to start the game clock at this time. And that's the same thing as before last year. You would see him wind that arm and blow the whistle, which everybody would start their clock. In this case, because he's inbounds on the first down and the 40-second play clock is running, if he were to start winding there, you're going to have a problem because you're going to actually have an inverted whistle. Okay, the 40-second play clock, ready for play. Basically, you're ready for plays. You're going to have 2 ready for plays. If you've got administrative stoppage, or when we're using a 25-second play clock to start a new period, overtime series, or after a change of possession, or after a kick, the referee's going to have the same old tried and true ready for play. He's going to check around with everybody, and you're going to have a whistle and either a wind or a chop, depending on what the game clock needs are at that time. Your new ready for play signal with the 40-second play clock is going to be the ball placed on the ground by a game official, and that game official stepping away to his position. So in this case, that'll be the umpire getting that ball, putting it down on the ground, and stepping away to his position. His position is 5 to 7 yards away from the ball. Your center, your quarterback have the ball snapped, or your center snaps it to your quarterback calls for that before that umpire is at that 5 to 7 yards, you're going to be flagged for delay of game. So it's imperative that your center understands that that umpire needs to be set at his 5 to 7 yards. And the quarterbacks need to be paying attention to this as well, so that he knows not to start his cadence or not to start any type of count that's going to signify to the center to snap the ball to him. We just talked about this, but the 3-6-2A is that action or inaction which prevents promptness of putting the ball in play as a delay of game. And this includes, the language there changed, failure to snap or free kick within the limits of the 25 or 40-second play clock. An example of that, again, I just gave it to you, but teammate snapping the ball prior to the umpire being in position will be a delay of game. All right, 40-second play clock. How will this apply to your subs? Many people have called and said, are we going to be using any substitution rule change requirements similar to what college has? The answer to that's no. Nothing's changing to your substitute requirements. Everything in 721 that was there last year will be there again. The only thing they've added is or when the 40-second play clock begins. So the rule 721 will read, after the ball is marked ready for play, when a 25-second play clock begins or becomes dead, or when a 40-second play clock begins, each player of A who participated in the previous down and each substitute for A must have been momentarily between the 9-yard marks before the snap. So the offensive team still has the same requirement to their substitutes. You must get inside those 9-yard marks if you're coming off the sideline, and you must be inside the 9-yard marks at least momentarily if you were on during the previous play. So nothing's changed there. No requirements. If you sub late, as long as you get inside the 9-yard marks coming off, you don't have to wait. Allow the defense to have any time to sub. All right, here's a couple scenarios for you that deals with the chains and the down box indicator. I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, if you don't have at least one solid adult on your chain crew running the down box, you're going to have a lot of struggles in the first few weeks of this season with this 40-second play clock, and especially on long gains down the field. But here's a scenario. The ball is spotted after teammate gains their first down. Let's say teammate throws a 25-yard pass down the field. We get it. We get the ball spotted. The ball's down on the ground where it's going to be snapped from. However, the down box indicator and the chains are not set. They're not down the field. They're not set yet. In this case, the umpire is going to stand over the ball until the box is set, the down box is set. And once that down box gets set, he's going to back out. Same scenario, ball spotted after a long game, 25, 30-yard pass down the field. The chains and down box indicator are not set. And in this case, the play clock actually gets down to 24 or 25 seconds. The umpire is going to stand over the ball. We're going to stop the play clock. We're going to get the chains and the box set, and then we're going to get everything wind and chopped. 25-second play clock running from there. So in this case, the ball is spotted after teammate gains a first down. Let's say it again. 30-yard pass downfield for the offense, first down. The chains aren't set, but the down box indicator is set. So we have the ball is going to be put in play on Team B's 35-yard line. The ball is on the 35. The down box indicator is on the 35. The chains are still hustling down the sideline. We're going to play. We're going to play. As soon as an umpire gets set, we're going to be ready to roll. We're not going to wait on the chains themselves. The biggest key here is we want to make sure that down box is set. If the down box is set where it needs to be, we're going to be ready to roll. I put in here in this presentation, it's imperative the linesman have an appropriate conversation pregame with your chain crew, but I want to expand on that. It's imperative that you as a head coach have a conversation with your chain crew to make sure they understand the importance of getting up and down the field so that we can keep this flow of the game moving. It's also important, if you're the visiting team, to stay in your appropriate box to give that chain crew an opportunity to work on your sideline so they can get up and down. And remember, they're going to be moving as much as you want to get guys on the field. They're going to be moving those chains to try to get set. And if you're on offense and your coaching staff's out of that box and you're preventing them from being able to get up and get down and get set, that's going to fall on you. So we need to make sure we're policing our sidelines, keeping everybody back to give these guys a chance to run up and down the sideline, but also make sure you have people that can get up and down the sideline. Okay, some helpful info that should help moving forward. One thing I've heard that a school did, one of our officials shared with me in their spring game, coach instructed they had 2 ball boys. Coach instructed one ball boy to stay at the line of scrimmage at all times. He had a ball in his hands. He had another ball boy that was down the field about 10 to 15 yards on the same sideline, and he was considered the chaser. So if there ever was an incomplete pass down the field, the second ball boy, who was the chaser, would go after the ball and pick it up and run off the sideline. The first ball boy, who was at the line of scrimmage, would take the ball physically out to the umpire and get it put down where it needed to be. And the same happened on long gains. That just helped the flow, the balls getting in and out. It didn't require us to throw the ball 20 yards to an official who would then sling it 10 more yards to another official. That crew said the pace of the flow really worked well because the coach had pre-planned to have those two ball boys work that way. I know for many of you, finding ball boys is very difficult, but if you can find ball boys and be consistent and just go over with them, this is what we want you to do, the flow of the game for you will work very well. Again, we just went over this in the previous slide. Have a chain crew that can keep up with the game. I know that in almost every case we have volunteers. And you don't ever want to turn away free help. But make sure you've got those that can keep up with the game. And what I mean is an adult who can follow along. They know what they're supposed to do. They know their requirements. They know their responsibilities. Another thing you can do to help us is have as many game-like scrimmages as possible. You will not help any of your officials in your area, and you will not help other schools out by having scrimmages where you just have scripted plays and we're going to all start back at the same spot every single time. It's going to make it a little difficult. So the more game-like you can have your scrimmages for our officials, the easier the transition is going to be for them into week 0 and week 1. I will just share with you now is that there are going to be some hiccups week 0 and week 1 and maybe even into week 2 with this. Hopefully by week 3, our goal is that by week 3 we're very much in sync and the flow of the game is very steady. Hoping that's going to happen a lot faster. But as with any change and transition, it may take some time. I don't think it's going to be a choppy game by any means the first couple weeks of the season. But I do anticipate there to be a challenge or two early on at some point during the season in the first couple weeks. For you, the biggest change is there's no longer a period of waiting. Again, went over this earlier. We're not waiting for the referee to wind or chop the ball in play. Once the play is dead, 40-second clock is going to start. Okay, lastly, I've got a video action here from our good friends out in the state of Colorado. This was a state championship game in the state of Colorado where they were using the 40-second play clock last year. This is, as you can tell by the score and the clock down in the bottom of your screen, this is the opening kickoff of the game. You'll notice the first play will start with a 25-second play clock because it's after a kick. And then from there, you'll notice the 40-second play clock run. I just want you to watch. In the corner, we have the 40-second play clock pops up, so you can kind of get an idea for the timing of everything, of when it starts, what it looks like. This just kind of helps you with the flow of what it will look like. One thing I want to point out is this is the state championship, I believe, last year in Colorado, and this was their third year of running this 40-second play clock in Colorado. So they are very experienced in it, and not only a number of 3 years, but also this is the last game of the season in a state championship nonetheless. So take a moment, watch this. If you have any questions on anything we've covered here today, feel free to call our office. Our number is 803-798-0120. Thank you.
Roberson is to the right, and I'm not sure who's to the left.
Number 2.
They'll pooch it, and it'll be fielded at the 35-yard line, and Castro will bring it out to near the 39-yard line. That's where the Bears will set up shop.
A lot of drama for a strange kick.
Yeah, for an opening kickoff indeed.
But we'll see what...
Well, they're going to give... Boy, that's a favorable spot. They're going to put him at the 41. I thought he was at the 39. So the 41-yard line. So here come the Bears for the first time. We get to see Ty Evans and company go to work. Boy, Evans with great presence on the field.
Well, you know he wants to right his wrong from this last game against East. No question about that.
Fakes the handoff, takes a 3-step drop, and he's going to go deep, and he's looking along that left sideline, and the pass is going to be incomplete. Pass intended there for number 1, Caden Dudley, and defending on the play was Nick Carrera.
Wow, it looked like Carrera gave up on the route.
He did, but I'm wondering because it looked like he went out of bounds right near the 35-yard line, and I think he just gave up there. They were both out of bounds near the 35.
He must have X-ray vision. I don't know why you give up on a route like that because he catches it. It's a touchdown.
2nd and 1 make that 2nd and 10 from the 41. Boy, look at the swarming defense of the Eagles as they try to pound it straight up the middle to Ruel. And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, he had 116 yards last time against East, and it was a lot of counter stuff. Then that obviously wasn't the case. East was ready for that play. Key 3rd down play on first possession.
Big time 3rd down play. Ruel will slot to the right and a 3-step drop for Evans. Looks out in the flats. Pass is going to be caught. Matisse has got 1st down yardage. He's to the Eagle 40-yard line.
That was too easy.
Very, very easy.
Just sat down in coverage, and East just watched him. It was like they were running a zone coverage, and Evans just slotted it in there.
And, Trace, we've seen this before with 11 minutes to play, the no huddle, and Ruel straight up the middle. And he's got 10 yards and then some, and he's to the 30, making the 29-yard line.
See, and this is why I thought deferring wasn't necessarily the best thing to do with East, because Palmer Ridge has got an explosive offense.
In a sense, being almost on a home field situation as well for the Eagles. Again, no huddle. And again, they'll hand it off to Ruel straight up the middle. He bounces off a would-be tackler. He's to the 20, 10 to the 5, and to the promised land. Touchdown, Bears.
Wow, 29-yard touchdown run. Just bounced off. It looked like Madden. The guy bounces off a defender. No one see. They thought he was tackled in the backfield. Next thing you know, he's bouncing around to the left. He's scoring a touchdown.
And, man, he got outside and just kicked in the afterburners and just literally tiptoes into the end zone.
Yeah,
6-0 Bears.
Yeah, that's less 10:36 to go in the first quarter. That's not what you wanted if you're Pueblo East's defense.
And the point after is up and away, and it is good.